Well, we have a multi-day severe weather threat from the plains through the Midwest and the Great Lakes today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So today's risk is from really basically the foothills of the Rockies all the way into southern Minnesota and towards Milwaukee and Chicago. Slight risk of severe weather with an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, into western Nebraska. The main threat today is going to be large hail and some damaging wind gusts. But tomorrow, the focus is going to be for the potential for tornadoes here across eastern Iowa, northern Missouri, western Illinois into southern Wisconsin, and potentially southeastern Minnesota. There is some question marks with tomorrow's outbreak that we will address here, but today, again, the main threat, high wind. That's where we have the hatched area there across southwestern Nebraska, and the large hail threat. As always, any severe storm can produce a brief tornado, but the dynamics really come together for that more tomorrow. So we had a first wave move through overnight of some showers and thunderstorms, and you can see this sort of broken area of clouds all the way back to Nevada. There's a series of little ripples here in the middle of the atmosphere that are going to be the focus for some thunderstorm development combined with that late day heating. So as we head into the late afternoon and evening, we're going to see that combined forces here to produce some storms across portions of the plains, and then a deeper wave comes through tomorrow. That's the one that's going to intensify the surface low and create the dynamics for potentially more severe weather tomorrow. So today, we've got a broad area of lower pressure all the way back to Colorado, but tomorrow that low pressure really deepens at the surface. And in fact, the Twin Cities National Weather Service office talking about that this is potentially going to be a once-in-a-decade low pressure for the surface here for late May in Minnesota. So a very deep low, more of a winter-like kind of setup almost as far as pressure levels go. We don't typically see deep lows this late in the season now that we're in the warm season. So thunderstorms start to fire across southern Minnesota into Nebraska late this afternoon, evening, and look how this really just fills in. Now, if that happens too much, and you can kind of see the pattern of these storms here, these are some of those potential wind gusts producing storms across Iowa back into Nebraska. Severe wind gusts, any of these bright yellow and orange areas you see, potential for some of those higher wind gusts of 60 miles an hour plus, so those damaging wind gusts. Now, tomorrow, the threat is a broad area because it's going to be somewhere within that area, probably not that entire region that sees the tornado threat, but we've got a hatched area, again, from southeastern Minnesota into western Illinois. Lots of shear with this system as that wave gets going here and that surface low really deepens. Winds are going to be moving in all kinds of directions and at different speeds, sort of the ideal shear setup for potential tornadoes. Mid-level winds coming in here from the southwest over that region, but surface winds coming in from the south-southeast. So this gives you that curvature of storms as those updrafts get going to organize these storms into supercells and potential tornado producers. But there are differences in terms of energy and instability. Our high-resolution rapid refresh model has a lot of that activity from the overnight tonight into the morning, keeping the energy further south into Iowa, those warmer temperatures, that daytime heating. Now the NAM model is much more broad and pushes it into southeastern Minnesota. So that's why we have that large area of the enhanced risk tomorrow, because it could be as far north as southeastern Minnesota, but may stay further south, and that impacts the significant tornado parameter too. Eastern Iowa, but more broadly, maybe into southeastern Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois on the NAM model. So eastern Iowa, regardless, looks like it's going to be in the center of this potential activity. So there's the surface low. Storms will fire along that front and close to that low, and that's when we'll see those discrete supercells, potentially tornadic producing cells across maybe as far north as southeastern Minnesota, eastern Iowa, more likely southern Wisconsin, Illinois, and then that threat will continue further south and east as we head into Wednesday.